Hey friends, welcome back to OG Universe. Thank you so much for stopping by and spending some time with me as we take a look at the newest incarnation of Robin from McFarlane Toys under the DC Direct moniker. Basically, it's DC Multiverse in a new packaging. We're taking a look at Damian Wayne Robin from Batman Reborn, Batman and Robin #1. Very excited to bring this figure to you. Had this figure for a while, just cracked it out of the package a little while ago, played around with it, and man, I'm so glad I did this before our top 10 DC Multiverse figures of 2024 because this could be a contender. There are some great aspects about this figure. A couple things holding it back from hitting that stellar kind of peak of beautiful, awesome action figure goodness. But let's take a look at the packaging, what we got with this figure, then we'll deep dive into this Damian Wayne version of Robin. So I like the fact that we get a comic book. Yes, we get a full comic book reprint of Batman and Robin #1. This was a phenomenal series by Grant Morrison and Frank Quietly. Really great run. I think it went about 26, 27 issues. Collected them. It was a great read. A lot of awesome dynamic characterization and really good action going on in this comic as well. Not a big fan of the packaging though. So packaging, you gotta snip this side and the bottom to get the figure out of its plastic prison. You have the DC Direct moniker there, Robin, you get a trading card, you get the display stand as well. In addition to the sword that our Robin is grasping, we also get this mask of Professor Pig, split in two. It's very nicely done. Hopefully one day we'll get this guy in action figure form from McFarlane Toys. But I don't think I'll be using this really for anything. It'll stay in the package. If they do make a Professor Pig figure, I'll definitely bring it out. We'll do some fun action figure photography and some shorts with it, but for now, it'll stay in the package. But I do want to showcase the comic book. Yes, I love having comic books. And what's really interesting, for me at least, this figure costs about $25 Canadian, right? Our basic DC Multiverse figure is about $25, but we just get a trading card. So for that exact same price, we get a full comic book. And I would much rather have a comic book that represents the character you're getting in the package than a trading card. But that's just my opinion. I'd love to hear your opinions. Let me know in the comments below. But let's take a look at some of the interior artwork on this comic. You do have some, look at that, a really nice picture of that wave of Batman Forever figures. What a wave that was, man. Absolutely spectacular. Do have some really great artwork going on there. Damian looking all smug. You got Dick Grayson as Batman. You got my Batmobile flying around. Wonder if that'll be made into figure form, so to speak. And then, yeah, you do have some pretty nice artwork on the inside. It's a pretty quick read as well, but it's just the start of some good stuff here. And then you can see a really nice shot of Dick Grayson Batman and Damian. One thing, look at that one's really nice. Very cool. One thing I definitely want to point out, so I just thought this would be cool to share. And don't miss. So you got an upcoming preview of the entire series of what's going to happen, who's going to be in it. Look at that. That's some very interesting stuff going on. I don't want to spoil anything. But we do have Red Hood. Yeah, we got Red Hood there. A very different incarnation of Red Hood. I think I could probably customize this into figure form, but I'd love to see DC Multiverse get this figure and make them. That skull chest piece would be a little difficult to procure, but the bodysuit, the cape, especially that head is very easy. That'll come from the collector's edition Red Hood Joker. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Definitely interesting to see that in action figure form. But let's take a closer look at this Robin figure. I really do appreciate a lot of the aspects of this character and this figure. This was a bit of a polarizing version of Robin. I don't know, a lot of people liked him. For a little while, I think people are just not used to this abrasive little psycho assassin from basically being trained by the League of Assassins since he was a kid. Well, he still is a kid, but man, he's grown on me. He's changed a lot. He's become a very dynamic part of the Bat family as well. And this figure's sculpted details just look incredible. I just see Damian Wayne, Frank Wiley's artwork translated perfectly into action figure form. Now, I really do appreciate the cloth wired cape. It's a pretty nice material, not as starchy as some of the capes that we've seen. It does have a strong wire running through so we can get all sorts of dynamic poses. And you know we love our cloth wired capes here on the channel. Just adds that extra little bit of flair for articulation, dynamic posing. One thing I think this kind of surpasses in a lot of ways some of the cloth wired capes is that we got a cloth wired hood. Yeah, let's check that out. So we got the hood here, cloth running through the top of the brim of the hood. We can just put that on. We do have a lot of fabric with this as well, so you can get it into some pretty deep poses. There you go. That is pretty damn awesome. Just getting it on, you can play around with the wiring here and make it as close to the head as you want. But man, this is awesome. This is kind of next level stuff. That I love the fact that McFarlane's taking some chances, being daring, doing things that just look spectacular. Now, I'm not a big follower of Star Wars, so correct me in the comments. As Star Wars, the Black Series used a cloth wired hood. I think that would be amazing for the Jedi figures with those massive robes. They can put a wire in that hood if they have already. Kudos and congratulations. Hope that works out for all the collectors out there. But man, I love this on my DC Multiverse figures. This looks just spectacular. And this is what they should have done on this figure. Yeah, this hood just killed this figure for me, man. It just kind of ruined it, unfortunately, because it's just such a stiff material. You can't get any head articulation. If this was a cloth wire piece, I think this figure would have been on my top 10. Unfortunately, it's not. It's not even close because of a lot of the issues this hood presented, as well as the Longo Hunter's Green Arrow, another fantastic looking figure, just unfortunately not executed as well as it should have been. But still, not a bad figure by any means. But man, we could get a re-release with this cloth wired hood. That would be a game changer. I really do like the way it sits on the body. Like you can get it into all sorts of poses, and it's just great. I absolutely love it. We'll pull it down here for the rest of the review. Oh, man, just fantastic. Now, there's a couple things about this figure that are holding it back, unfortunately. We'll talk about that, but let's take a quick look at all the detailed stylization. This is a reused body buck from our Infinite Frontier Robin for the legs. The boots are just awesome. I absolutely love the way they paint them green with the red laces, the sculpted details, the texturing looks fantastic. Man, it just looks awesome. This is such a well done version of Robin. The scalpels there. Now, let's talk about some articulation. And unfortunately, this is where the figure is going to falter a little bit. So the head has really great range of motion, really nice articulation looking up. You got side attitude. You can look down pretty decently. You have spacer joints in the shoulders, so you have a bit of extra range of motion with the butterfly hinge. You have a bicep cut, double jointed ratcheted elbows, ball joint at the wrist, which looks really nice. I like these gloves. They look cool. All right, the torso. This is the point of contention, unfortunately, with this figure. And there's a way they could have gotten around and added some articulation here, because this is one solid piece which just kills torso articulation. This overlay here is a harder rubber material, so it doesn't give, doesn't help that there is a ball joint under there, but it is completely hindered by this overlay. So what they should have done, if you've seen in the Bane and Doomsday figures, those mega size figures, they have the torso attached to a ball joint here, and this is a separate piece, so it still has a fluid range of motion in it. Everything else, that ball joint here just totally helps that out. You should have done that. You should have done that because that would have helped the articulation, still keep the integrity of the design and the sculpt for that tunic. But man, that would have helped and freed up so much articulation on this figure. You have ball joints at the hips, double jointed ratcheted knees, nice knee pads, ball joints at the ankles, sculpted ball joint which is hidden by this boot, which is sculpted really nicely, really nice detail. Toe articulation, ankle pivot and rocker, everything else going on. So yeah, this figure, it looks beautiful. The articulation in the torso, man, if you wanted some hyper articulated Damian Wayne, which I so wanted and I think everybody wanted, yeah, it's me a bit of a disappointment because that articulation is hindered, unfortunately. But let's bring in some other figures and see how they compare with this version of Robin. Let's bring in one of my favorites here. We got Tim Drake. We did some toy surgery on this guy because the head sculpt that came with this figure was atrocious. Did not suit this character. We used the new 52 Red Robin head sculpt, put it on there, and this has become one of my favorites. I really love the aesthetic style of this Robin. Of course, the cloth wired cape is just spectacular. The costume is really good as well. And it's just a good body buck. It's a John Kent body buck, retooled a little bit. And man, fantastic. I love seeing these two guys in the collection. Another Robin we'll bring in, and that is kind of one of my definitives. One of. It's been switched around a bit. We put a brand new head sculpt on, and we put the original head sculpt from our Gotham Knights Robin, and I really like the way it sits on this figure. This is one of my favorite Robin body bucks for sure. It's the Tim Drake Batman Reborn version, and I like this head sculpt because it's kind of a bit of a younger take. I did have kind of like an older Dick Grayson, Jason Todd head sculpt on here from a Batman 5-pack from Amazon. I think this one just does it real justice, man. It looks just fantastic. I love the serious, stoic look of this Robin and the body. Now, one of the best. This is one of the best versions of Robin, hands down, from DC Multiverse. Now, let's take a look at some other figures that go along with this Robin. This one here, I just wanted to bring this one in just for a size comparison to see what they're like. This is our Chris O'Donnell version of Robin from Batman Forever. I really do like this figure. A couple things holding it back, but man, it is fun to have this version finally in the collection. One of my favorite Batman movies. I loved Batman Forever. It was so much fun. An excellent, excellent wave of action figures as well. Build a Connect, man, bad. Could have been better. Could have picked something else. Let's bring out another figure here that will go along well with this Damian, and that is Nightwing. One of my favorite figures. We customized the heck out of this guy. This again from the Batman 5-packs, an OG Batman or OG body buck, which means its circulation is a bit limited. Had really ugly ball joints. We switched out the head sculpt, so it was pretty damn bad. And then we gave him new sculpted ball joints from our Titans Nightwing, which wasn't the best figure either. But man, that really helped this figure become one of my absolute favorites. Definitely love that figure. I want to bring in a couple Batman. So I could see this version of Damian Wayne kind of being in the movie universe, so to speak. And this is one of my favorite figures too. This is our Skydive Batman with a Arkham Knight head sculpt on, but the body buck is absolutely killer. It looks so damn good. Sculpted details are just incredible. And to see these two, I could see these two in a movie universe for sure. That would be fantastic. And then I want to bring in another Batman figure that I think might be a bit more comic appropriate. So this is the Batman from our Flash movie, which was one of my favorites. Love that movie. But this one is basically the Michael Keaton Batman body buck. We put a Arkham City 2.0 head on there, repainted the belt with a brushed gold, and man, I just love this figure. It has just this reminiscent feel, kind of a tribute to the old Kenner figures from the Batman movies, and I just love the way this figure looks, and it looks really good with Damian Wayne. Very cool looking dynamic duo for sure. And then finally, we got to bring in this guy. This one here is our Frank Quietly, Grant Morrison take on the dynamic duo. We got our Dick Grayson as Batman, and I love this figure. It is fantastic. I really do think this should have been a 2-pack. I just think it would have been a really great culmination of an artistic run that was absolutely awesome in this comic book series. Bring these two together. Maybe have a diorama piece of a roof or something like that. Some extra weapons, some accessories. Man, that would have been an amazing 2-pack. But I'm so happy that we actually got both of these figures released within the same year. It's a few months, I believe, apart as well. So it's not like, we got this guy in January and this guy in December, and good luck trying to find this guy if you wanted to do a dynamic duo. It was good that they came in roughly around the same time, be able to take a month or so. Very nice to have these two guys together, and they look spectacular. This is one of my favorite versions of the dynamic duo. Dick Grayson as Batman, Damian Wayne as Robin. So, as you can tell, this is a great figure, except that torso articulation is just hindered by that one piece sculpted tunic that just kills the articulation in the torso. But otherwise, if you're putting these guys on your shelf, this is a hell of a good looking dynamic duo, and I think you'll be extremely happy to add this figure to your collection. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, let me know what you think. of this Damian Wayne Robin. Appreciate all the feedback and comments. Take care, and we'll see you in the next video, guys. Have a great one. All the best.